Hey, what's up, y'all? Today is a great day to dive in, so let's do that. Real quick, let me just ask you a question. And when I'm asking y'all, I'm really asking me, how obedient are you in life? And when I say obedient, I mean to you, because I don't want to say obedient to those around you because I just don't like the wording of that. You can be loyal. You can be multiple things to people around you, but to say you're obedient to them, it's giving, I don't like it. And that's my opinion. But when I ask how obedient are you, I'm saying to your growth, to who you are, to how much you can change, to how much you have changed. Like, how obedient are you to be the best version of yourself? Because we all struggle to be the best versions of themselves. I mean, not y'all, I'm talking about me. Remember, we all struggle with that, right? We all struggle with trying to be the person that we know that we can be. Because at the end of the day, being the best version of yourself is the best thing for not only you, but for those around you. And we are kidding ourselves if we think that's not the case. Not saying being the best self for somebody who feels like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Not being who somebody else wants you to be. Being obedient to who God called you to be. And I know that I normally state scripture towards the end of the story, but every once in a while I start my podcast off with one. So let's go back, way back into time in 1 Samuel chapter 15. Okay, so let me let you know what's happening. So this is around a time where God comes to Samuel and tells Samuel to tell Saul, I need you to go to where the Amalekites be, and I need you to kill everybody. Mamas, brothers, sisters, uncle, baby, cattle, donkeys, everybody got to die, because the way that they've been handling people and handling life is not okay with me. I need to take them off the board. It's crazy, right? But God don't play no games. So Samuel says he's going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you call me to do, right? So basically, Saul gets the man that he wants to ride out with him. Let's put it in, today terms. He gets the man that he wants to complete this task with him. And they go out and they kill everybody. But Saul leaves the king alive, right? And then he takes everything, their cattle and everything. So starting at 1 Samuel 15, verse 9, it says, but Saul and the army spared Agag and the best of the sheep and cattle, the fat calves and lambs, everything that was good. This they were unwilling to destroy completely, but everything that was despised and weak, they totally destroyed. Then the word of the Lord came to Samuel. I regret that I made Saul king, because he has turned away from me and has not carried out my instructions. Samuel was angry and he cried out to the Lord all night. Okay, and let's skip down to 13. It says that when Samuel reached Saul, Saul said, the Lord bless you. I have carried out the Lord's instructions. But Samuel said, what then is this bleating of sheep in my ears? What is this lowing of cattle that I hear? He's basically saying, like, what God telling me is different what you talking about. Saul answered, the soldiers brought them from the Amalekites. They spared the best of the sheep and cattle to sacrifice to the Lord your God, but we totally destroyed the rest. Enough, Samuel said to Saul. Let me tell you what the Lord said to me last night. Now pause. Don't Samuel sound like a parent who fed up? Don't he sound like somebody who's in charge of you that's tired of your excuses, tired of you doing whatever it is that you want to do, tired of you making up a reason why you did what you did, baby, you did what you did, and now you gonna get what you get. So to continue, tell me, Saul replied. Samuel said, although you were once small in your own eyes, did you not become the head of the tribes of Israel? The Lord anointed you king over Israel. And he sent you on a mission and saying, go and completely destroy those wicked people, the Amalekites. Wage war against them until you have wiped them out. Why did you not obey the Lord? Why did you pounce on the plunder and do evil in the eyes of the Lord? But I did obey the Lord, Saul said. I went on the mission that the Lord assigned me. I completely destroyed the Amalekites and brought back Agag, their king. The soldiers took sheep and cattle from the plunder, the best of what was devoted to God, in order to sacrifice them to the Lord your God at Gilgal. But Samuel replied, does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. For rebellion is like the sin of divination, and arrogance like the evil of idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. Okay, so we're going to stop right there, and I'm going to hop back in a minute. But let's just say this. Why get rid of perfectly good stuff and things is basically what he's saying. Because God told you to. He told you to. Just think about it. When you was at school, right? Growing up, I don't know what it is now because they make everything so much different for these kids. But when you're in school and what was one thing they would always tell you when you were doing math and you getting the answer? They will always tell you to show your work, because no matter if you got the right answer, I need to know how you got the right answer. I need to make sure, there was a nice way of saying, that you don't cheat. I need to make sure that you don't cheat. Let's talk about a job. When a job tell you to do some specific way and you take a shortcut, but in the midst of your shortcut, you make a mistake and your boss is like, I told you to do something a certain way. Why did you do the opposite of what I told you? Let's talk about kids. You know, when you was younger and you cleaned up the dishes, your parents told you need to clean up the kitchen, right? And you washed the dishes. I don't know if your mama was like my mama, but the dishes meant the kitchen. So if you washed the dishes, but you didn't clean the kitchen, you didn't do what I told you to do. You halfway did what I told you to do. Let's talk about a relationship. You said one thing, right? But your actions showed another. You started doing something I told you that was a struggle. You halfway did it. And then you turned around and did what we talked about again because you were tired of doing it the right way. So when we think about all those different things, when I tell you to do something, I mean that. I don't mean halfway do it. I don't mean do what you feel like doing. I don't mean do what you think is right in that moment. I mean do what I told you to do. I mean do what I told you to do, right? Okay, so starting back at chapter 24, it says, Then Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned. I violated the Lord's command and your instructions. I was afraid of the men, and so I gave in. Now I beg you to forgive my sin and come back with me so that I may worship the Lord. But Samuel said to him, I will not go back with you. You have rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord has rejected you as king over Israel. As Samuel turned to leave, Saul caught hold on to the hem of his robe, and it tore. Samuel said to him, The Lord has torn the kingdom of Israel from you today, and has given it to one of your neighbors, to one better than you. He who is the glory of Israel does not lie or change his mind, for he is not a human being that he should change his mind. So let's stop there, because if you heard the part that was in that last part, if you know who he gave Israel over to. Read your Bible. I tell you that every episode. I need to start making it to where y'all can comment on these, because I want to know if y'all listening. But to go back to the text, you heard in the text where he said that he gave in and took the things on top of the king that he was supposed to kill because he was afraid of the men that went with him. But you chose them. You chose those men that went with you. You should have chose different men. This comes into a bigger play, right? It matters. We need to make sure we're choosing different friends, different jobs, making different decisions. It was a choice that he made to bring those men. It's a choice to follow God and completely choose what he wants for you over man. So at the end of the day, the bigger picture is he's saying he chose man over what God told him to do because he was afraid. Maybe you need to surround yourself with people that you don't have to be afraid of. Maybe you need to surround yourself with people that align with what God is calling you to do, because if we come and we always making excuses on why we not obedient instead of just being obedient, if we start making excuses on why we are where we are instead of just saying, hey, I took a shortcut, and when God checks us, because he will do that, he will check you. When God check you, don't be confused, whether it's with your job, whether it's through what you listen to music, whether it's when you watching something and you like, dang, was that a shot at me? God knows how to reach you where you are. He knows how to reach you where you are, because why? He is the ruler of everything. Don't let nobody tell you different. And if they tell you different, you know what's up. He is it. And when he tell you to do something, do it. So how obedient are you being right now? What is the last thing he told you to do? What is he telling you to do right now that you have not done yet? Figure it out. Sit down, pray to him, figure it out, because he wants you to do what he's telling you to do. And I've told y'all before in a recent podcast, if you don't do what he's telling you to do, he gonna make you do it over and over and over again. He gonna make you stay in the same space until you do it. So you like, hey, God, I want this. He like, did you do what I told you yet? Hey, God, I know you told me to do this, but I really don't want to do it. He still, have you done what I told you to do yet? Hey, God, it's me again. Have you done what I told you to do yet? It's like a parent. It's like a parent, right? When you used to ask, I don't know about y'all, but I used to ask my mom, hey, can I go so and so, so and so? And she would say, is your chores done? Have you done what I told you to do yet? Don't ask me no questions about where you can go if you have not done, if you have not been obedient to what I told you to do. We spend so much time wanting to do what we want to do. Saul chose to do his job halfway. He chose to do what God told him to do halfway, and then, oh, please forgive me, please forgive me. God gonna forgive you, but baby, your job is snatched. If you do something in the system that I told you not to do at work and you lose your job is snatched. I mean, God will forgive you. If you do something that you're not supposed to do, God is going to forgive you, but you have to deal with what comes with it. And he had to deal with what comes with it. He ended up having to lose Israel to David, baby. If you know, you know. Read this chapter because it is something. It make you be like, really? It make you check yourself. It made me check me. It made me check me. And I hope that it convicts who needs to be convicted and help you to change your ways because, baby, I heard a sermon this past week and I was like, oh, really? And then I prayed to God about it because I need to be able to understand where I'm at. I need to be able to get to a better place. And sometimes what I want, or most times what I want, ain't going to allow what he wants from me, which is why I need to figure out how he is calling me to be obedient, how he wants me to move. Not how the world says that I should, but how he wants me to. Because at the end of the day, who better than him? Don't worry. You know the rest. I love y'all. Be back.